Welcome back. Welcome back to the Love on Top podcast, episode 5, where we talk love, relationships, marriage, parenting, and everything in between. For those of you that's here for the first time, my name is Ian. To the left of me, I got my beautiful co-host, my wife, my partner in crime, the best mother, the best wife I could ask for. Shaniqua, give it up for you, right?
Thank you, baby.
The best of the best.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah, last episode we talked about
Our
wedding, getting married. Today we're going to talk about year 1 of
life after marriage.
Waking up a wife, waking up next to your husband. How did get into that? So how did that feel, waking up next to me and just being a wife the next morning? How did that?
It was surreal. Like, felt like I was dreaming. Like it was just one of those moments where you're like, wow.
You couldn't believe you got me, right?
Yeah.
Like you couldn't believe you really just you just got me. I understand.
My plan worked. But no, it just felt like surreal. Like I'm really somebody's wife. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But
that's
no, it was a great feeling. It was just excitement.
Yeah.
Just very excited about the future and everything.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. I feel like it was like I accomplished something.
Yeah.
And I feel like I just started, we started like our legacy and just really building, and like we were really family. And then I had like that feeling of realization that I married Shaniqua. Shaniqua from, elementary school, from chorus, who like everybody knew, who was always singing. So that was like
I was
kind of a surreal moment for me.
I was never a big deal.
No, you was a big deal to me.
Thank
you were a big deal to me. So now it was just weird because it's like, I remember having just having a crush on you, you know what I mean? So like to marry you is it's a good feeling. Yeah, it was exciting, and it was like a little bit weird just thinking about that. Like, okay, I remember you from elementary school and even like high school. Just wow, I married my high school sweetheart. That was the big realization. For me.
And you said the word accomplishment, and I feel I get that. Kind of like that feeling, like I got like the same feeling like after like I graduated, like waking up the next day, just like kind of like, wow, like I did it.
Yeah, like you did something that people don't normally do, because people don't, well, let's be honest, like people don't really last for 10 years. That was our 10-year anniversary. People don't typically get married to their high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
We did that. People don't typically get married. So I think that was like a big accomplishment in itself. And being a Black man, like finding your person and getting married and being excited to do that and build a family, I think that was like a huge accomplishment. And I don't feel like I accomplished many things. You know what I mean? I didn't walk across the stage at graduation. Didn't graduate from college, but like that was my moment. You know what I mean? We walked down the aisle, husband and wife, and I think that was like a big accomplishment. And like I said, I felt like a celebrity that day because everybody was just
you do
around us.
You do. Well, I think you said it in one of the episodes. Like that's like the one day that all eyes are on you. You just feel like a celebrity. And it's supposed to feel like that.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel like that, then you have the wrong people in the room.
Right.
But no, it was a great feeling. I just like couldn't wait to like start life, if that made sense. Like I couldn't wait to like go out in public and go to the store
wearing a wedding ring and
like being a wife and like, this is my husband.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to like sign my name to hear like Mrs. Harris somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, do you feel like you was like losing part of your identity though?
No,
like,
I couldn't wait to get rid of my last name.
No, I mean, you know how my family is. We take pride in our last name.
Right.
I feel like I take pride in my last name. So like the fact that you take pride in it, I feel like is amazing. And like, I didn't want you to feel like you were like losing like part of you, but I know you didn't have your dad's last name. So it really wasn't even like
I was just about to say that I didn't I couldn't wait to get rid of it. I didn't have my dad's last name, and my mom got remarried. So I had my mom's last name, but then she got remarried, and then my sister got married. So, like, the four main people in my life, like, I didn't share a last name with them.
Yeah.
And I was excited to like have a last name that like felt like home. Like I remember saying that, like, I can't wait to like be home. Like, so I never cared about my last name, my maiden name.
Yeah.
Like I do Harris.
You wear it well too. Like I don't even think about your maiden name at this point. Like it just, Shaniqua Harris is what it is.
Yeah.
And then, I was just proud to give you my last name. I was proud for like the marriage certificate. Just proud to be a husband, just to say my wife.
Yeah.
And, I'm your husband. And, I don't know. It was just an exciting moment for me. I know it was exciting for you.
It was.
But I was just curious if you felt like you kind of like lost because like you changed everything. I didn't have to change anything. I just, I wear a ring now, you wear a ring now. And then I just like invite you over to,
I know.
To this
Even
side.
Like when they like announce you at the wedding, it's like Mr. and Mrs. Ian Harris.
Yeah.
Like, which I guess I didn't really realize that until like I got older. And I'm just like, oh wow, like it is kind of like you're like the head, like the man's like the head.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome. It was just something that I never really realized until we got married and as I got older and went to weddings and stuff. So but no,
I was excited for that mailbox, to get that, rip that piece of tape off and put your name on the mailbox. But even with like you, like us getting married and it felt different, like we still went home to the same,
our old house, our
400 square foot apartment,
right?
1 bedroom. So it's like, as much as it feels different, it's like when you walk through that door, everything really is still the same. But I did feel like the status changed. Like, all right, now I gotta be a husband and, it's a little different now. This is serious. We're adults, you know what I mean? Even though we were 27, like we're adults now. And then starting to think forward of like, what's the next chapter? And I know like a lot of people told us, just enjoy being married for a year or two before you invite kids in. But it's like, by now we're ready. Like we were 27, we were ready to have kids.
We were together for 10 years. Like I was ready to have kids at that point. And honestly, I don't know if you remember our conversation, like us getting married wasn't even like a factor for me before we had kids.
Yeah.
I just wanted to finish school. Like that was my main thing. Like I was like, got to finish school and then we can start having kids. But you're actually the one who brought up the importance of being married first before we had kids. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it was important to me.
But I feel like usually like the woman kind of has that goal in mind. But for me, I was just like, I got to finish school first and then like I'm good to go.
Yeah. You probably felt like it was like a stall tactic too. Like, he doesn't want to have kids until he gets married.
No.
You didn't feel like that?
No, not
because
at all.
some people try to
not at all
stall or whatever.
No, I didn't feel like that at all.
I feel like it made me more ready though, because I was like, that was the one thing I wanted to check off the list. It's like, because I feel like I didn't typically do things in order at all the way it was supposed to be done. Like I said, I didn't walk across the graduation stage. Didn't graduate from college. So I feel like you were ticking all these boxes. So I was like, that's the one box I want to tick off.
Yeah.
And do the right way in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I
and just kind of have that.
Yeah. And I had all these like plans and goals, like you said, to check these boxes off. But those two things like marriage and children, they were kind of like simultaneously, like it wasn't like one before the other.
Yeah.
To me, like, again, finishing school and graduating nursing school was like the top priority. So, but no, I'm glad we did it the way that we did it. And it was nice to bring in Arian.
Yeah, it wasn't even a question. Like, oh, is she going to have mom's last name or dad's last name? Like, it was just automatic. Like, it's the same last name.
Yeah, it was nice that we all had the same last name. It was nice to fill out her birth certificate form.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't feel like an outsider.
Yeah, having the same last name was, I think that's a big deal. It's like, there's like a little struggle because you wouldn't want her to have your last name. I obviously would want her to have my last name. Well, some people do feel like that, but.
Yeah. And I guess that would be more so if like there was like a question on whether or not like we were going to get married. then maybe I would have probably struggled with that. Like, oh, I want her to
Yeah.
have my last name, but I knew that was coming. Like that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I wasn't just like some guy. It was
Yeah. Like
yeah.
I knew that was coming. So if we did have a child before we got married, like he or she would have had your last name,
Yeah.
whether we were married or not. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I felt like that was like kind of came fast afterwards, but it made me
having Arian.
yeah, and I was like super ready. Like in that moment, I feel like as soon as we got married, I was just like ready to start the family. Like, all right, what's next? What's the next chapter? And I know we were like, we got to get out of this apartment. That was a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, from the outside looking in, maybe it seemed like we moved fast because we got pregnant 3 months after we got married.
Mm.
But again,
I don't think anybody thought we moved fast.
No, well,
just
just the timeline
I think it was like
fast,
super slow. Yeah.
When you think about us being together for 10 years, like it's like, oh yeah. I think the majority of people were kind of like about time.
Yeah. I think we were both like about time.
Yeah.
I know both of our parents. Well, I think at least my mom was ready for us to have a kid. I don't know if your mom was like eager, she could wait.
She knew that I was just focused on finishing school. Like, and she knew that having a kid would have kind of made things harder. So it wasn't like ever, it wasn't ever like a talk, like, oh, I can't wait for you to have children. Like, cause she just,
she already knew the
timeline.
Time frame. Yeah, the timeline.
Yeah. But do you remember the conversation we had when we decided that we were going to start?
I don't even know. Not start? Yeah,
I don't even know if we want to say trying.
Yeah,
I had just started my registered nursing job, brand new nurse. And I remember I was in orientation and you came to eat lunch with me. Like on
I think I was doing that like every day that I had time to. Yeah.
I don't know how we started talking about it. But again, I'm very like, I don't even know. I don't know if it's called type A. Like, I just have to have a plan. Like, all right, graduated, check. Like, what's next?
Yeah, I would have been cool if we just
started a job. Great. Okay, now it's like, now I want a baby, And I had been on birth control for years.
Your whole life.
Literally, like probably, I think since I was like 13. Yeah. And we got married at 26. We were 26.
Was it 26?
It was May.
Oh, okay.
So we didn't turn
26, turn 27.
Yeah.
That went into our planning too of the baby. It's like, well, by the time we have her, we'll be turning 28. So we're not like too old. We're not too young.
Yeah. So we just made a decision right there in the car that I would get off my birth control. And plus I kind of wanted my body to kind of, because I've been on it for so long and, I was just worried like, oh gosh, it's going to be hard for me to get pregnant because I've been on this for so long. Yeah. So I just kind of wanted my body to just be free of hormones and, kind of get myself ready for that process. Right. Yeah. So we decided that I was going to get off birth control and that we weren't going to try, but we also weren't going to prevent it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember just like, that decision alone was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because like my entire life, my goal was to not get pregnant.
Same. It was the goal was to not get you pregnant.
Like that was my life. Yeah. Like that was my goal. Like if I'm not pregnant, I'm doing good. Like,
yeah, right. And we had never, up to that point, never had like a pregnancy scare. We weren't like...
I've never had one, no.
Yeah, we were never like nervous, like, oh man, you might be pregnant or nothing.
So I had goals in mind and I just knew having a baby at that time wouldn't be right. So I was very responsible in that sense. Like I made sure.
Birth control worked for you 100%.
It did. And I was going to say birth 100%. Control, doesn't work for everyone. There is that like 1% chance, depending on what method you're on and stuff. But I was very vigilant when it came to making sure like no babies were happening. So to make that decision after like that's been my life goal since being, a teenager doing stuff I shouldn't be doing, to say like it's okay to get pregnant now was wild.
Yeah. You're like, well, I'm 27 now and it's finally okay. But no, and I mean, it was funny because we was like, we're not going to try, but we're not going to not try. But it's like, hey, it's 12 o'clock. I'm ovulating. We gotta do this. Like it quickly shifted from not trying to trying
I
hard
think
at
it did because
that.
I feel like, I don't know, we went into it like we're not gonna prevent it anymore, but we're not gonna
Yeah.
try. But I think like as the months went by, like, and no, finding out that like I wasn't pregnant, it just made me want to be pregnant even more.
Yeah.
So after every month that went by, like I kind of had that urge more and more and more. So it turned from not
that,
trying to, okay, we're trying.
and I think your background may have like made you a little bit more proactive in the process, because you knew, like I had no clue like really what ovulating was. So like I was like, you know, people just get pregnant all the time. So when you think about the
Oh my God.
when you think about somebody like just meeting someone, having a one night stand, and they happen to be ovulating and get pregnant, it's crazy. So I didn't think that was like really a thing. I thought you could just get pregnant at any point in time. So when you told me like there was like an actual schedule to it or a science to it,
no, it's crazy
like,
because
all right,
I feel like that's how pregnancy is viewed by many people. Like it's easy, and it's not. It is a very, very specific small window that like you have at getting pregnant.
Yeah.
So like it's really hard if you think about it.
Right. And then, like, yeah, and if you're trying, it's extremely hard.
Yeah. And I don't know if we mentioned it, but my background is women's health. Like I was a labor and delivery nurse, mother baby nurse. And then I went on to women's health. So like I was like all in it. So going to work, taking care of all the babies in the nursery, you know, I think that just kind of like heightened everything.
Yeah.
Mostly all of our friends was on kid number 2, 3, and 4. I
think, well,
kid like number 2.
Our friends, but like the girls.
Yeah. We're like on kid number 2 already. Yeah. Like they were like older. Like, so we were like one of the last ones out of our friends to have babies.
Yeah.
We were the second to last one to have babies. Yeah. My entire friend group. So
yeah, and that's crazy. Like to be you're surrounded. I remember like being the couple that would show up to birthday parties and we had nowhere else to be. Like we just like, hey, y'all trying to go out and do stuff, and they're like, oh, we got to find a babysitter and all this, and we're like, all right, well,
we was always at all the kids events, but just us two. You know, we were, you know, aunt, uncle, godparents.
Now look at us, we're locked down, can't even get a moment alone. So it's crazy. We came out on the other side, like.
So that quickly switched into, all right, like I want to have a baby.
You was all in. Mm-hmm. I was all in, but you was all in. Like you was like on it. And I'm like, yo, let's slow down.
Yeah, and you're like, I feel like as women, once we get that itch and we want that baby, it's like our mind is just like we're like animals. Like,
but not only that though, like we're like animals. Not only that though, like when you think about your personality, like I think your mom said it best. Like if you want something, you're gonna get it. So.
Yeah.
I mean, you wanted a kid at that time. You were going to get one. You were going to have a baby at that time.
With or without you, right?
No, don't say that. Do not say
Let me say.
With or without my help.
I was about to say with or without your knowledge.
Yeah, there we go. With or without my knowledge. Don't say with or without me. Because, you know, don't say that. But nah, for real, like with or without my knowledge, you probably would have made the process easier. No, I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But nah, I think that was an experience in itself, and I don't know how much detail we want to share on that.
Get into it.
Experience, but
get into it.
I mean, I thought that, we'll talk about it. I thought that like my sex drive was up there, especially at 27. But every day you think you want to.
Fairly low, I guess.
I guess normal. Like
I don't know if I'm average or low. Compared to you, I felt very low.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But it's all talk. It's all talk, really, because when I say like, okay, I want to do it.
That is when we learned that you were all talk.
Yeah, because when I say that I want to do it every day, I'm thinking like, you know, that's going to be. It sounds sexy, but when someone's like, hey, you're off of work, like we got to do this. The scheduling just feels too much.
Where are you?
Yeah, and I'm like,
when
I'm not
coming home.
I'm not in the mood right now. I just got off work, or I'm tired.
I'm ovulating. We got 48 hours.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm like, man, I'm not really not in the mood right now. So if you think you like it every day, you're gonna find out when your woman's
no,
trying
but
to
it
get
it turned into like a job.
Yeah,
it did, and I know that kind of like tarnishes things a bit. But again, I feel like as us women, like once we're in that baby mode, like we're stuck. We're in that zone. Like
I say, like having a baby makes sex feel like taking out the garbage.
mm-hmm.
You're like, all right, let me just do this real quick because she's ovulating,
Mm-hmm.
and let me just do it. But we were doing it wrong though, because we were going like multiple times a day. Which makes it feel like a job.
Yeah.
And then every day, multiple times a day. And that was wrong.
Not knowing that your levels were, you're just shooting blanks there. So
and when people like say like, oh, I could go every day, you're lying. Mm-hmm. You are lying, because it sounds good, but like I think it sounds like good when you're not doing it every day. Yeah. Because you're like, oh, I have that drive. But when that drive is taken care of on Tuesday, Wednesday, you don't feel like doing it in the morning because Tuesday night you were satisfied. So that was an experience in itself.
It was.
But I remember finding out we were pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember, before we get there, do you remember when, because it took us 3 months to get pregnant, which isn't long at all, but it was long in the moment when you like want it so bad. It was super long. And I remember I had a doctor's appointment, and I had mentioned how, you know, we were trying and we wanted to get pregnant. And she was like asking us, well, what are you guys doing? And then she's the one who told us, like, you don't want to do it every day.
Yeah.
And she was like, because if you think about it, you know, all the strong soldiers are gone. Like, you know, you want to kind of save it up. She was like, so do it like every other day, or, you know, whatever, so that you can, you know, have some strong ones in there.
Yeah. And
then I don't know if she's the one who recommended an ovulation test, or maybe that's just something that I knew just working in my field.
No, you had a blood, like a test or something. Yeah, you did like a blood test, right?
Ovulation kits, remember?
Where they told you, but no, remember I think we went to a doctor and they told you weren't ovulating. Remember they called you with those results? That's what I thought you was getting at.
Yeah, no, I forgot we did that. Yeah. We did that process. Why did we do that?
Because it took just 3 months and you was just like over-eager. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I was just impatient, and 3 months was just taking too long. So I wanted to make sure that like everything was okay. I remember that. And well, no, that was before that, but I know what you're talking about. But the lady who gave us that advice, I remember we took that advice. And then we went into the doctors and they did tests on me. And then they told me that, oh, it looks like you didn't ovulate this month. And then, you know, I was crying. I was like, oh, my God, thinking I can't have kids. Come to find out, it's because I was already pregnant.
You didn't ovulate. Yeah. Because you were already pregnant.
Because I was already pregnant.
So they weren't wrong.
But. No, but that lady, her advice worked. Like we got her pregnant immediately after that.
Yeah. What was it, like every other day?
She was like every other day during your ovulation window, which
that was more my speed.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. Remember, I was crying because she's like, it looks like you didn't ovulate. And I'm just like, what? Like, if I don't ovulate, that means I can't have kids. So my mind was just, you know, worst case scenario for me. I'm just negative Nancy, but found out that I was pregnant already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's I don't want to say it's like, I guess it's a little bit different if it's like you versus me, because like if I don't have any like soldiers to impregnate you, we have to go outside of us to like outside of me to kind of get pregnant.
There's a lot of steps before that though.
Because I'm like,
there's steps before that.
It was a little like, I don't want to say relief, but like I feel like there's like other ways that we could make that happen where you could still like carry a child. Yeah. So like when we thought, like the thought of it being like me was a little bit, I'm like, what are we going to do? Because I only knew one way. So I'm like, what am I going to do? But I knew there was multiple ways for you. Obviously, I didn't want you to go through that, but I knew that there was like alternatives like that would still be like, even if you didn't ovulate, you probably still had eggs, so we could still
right.
use your egg.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I don't have any sperm, there's just no sperm. You know what I mean? So like now we have to go through all this other stuff. So I wouldn't say I was relieved, but I was like, wasn't as worried as you were, because I knew that there was like other steps we could take.
Yeah.
You were like really like concerned. Like you thought, oh, I didn't ovulate, no kids ever. So
well, that's what that means.
Yeah.
If you don't
in
ovulate,
theory, yeah.
you can have kids.
In theory.
Yeah, but I was pregnant.
Yeah,
and
so you
didn't
were
even
pregnant.
know it yet.
Then it starts the slippery slope of like, are we having a boy? Are we having a girl? And you already knew how I felt about, I want a girl, my princess. And then I didn't care after that. I said, I wanted a girl first to make sure we had a girl. But then,
I was going to say, you didn't care about what? Because you cared a lot.
Oh, no, I'm saying, yeah, no, I cared a lot. But no, I said I wanted a girl definitely. But I said I could, if we had a girl first, I knew that we at least had one. And then if we had a boy, that'd be fine. Like it'd be fine after that.
Yeah.
But I wanted one girl, but I said I would always be worried if we had just a boy, because then we would never know if like we'd have a boy. We'd just have to keep trying.
I feel like so many people were surprised that you wanted a girl, because people feel like men always want a boy. And you were the exact opposite. Like all you wanted was a girl. And at first I didn't care. I'm like, boy or girl, doesn't matter to me. But how badly you wanted a girl made me want a girl.
Yeah.
Like it was serious. Like
I was team girl. I just wanted a girl that like
you were
wanted me, daddy's little girl,
and you got it.
And that's
times
really
2.
For real,
you were the sole reason why I did not do a gender reveal.
Yeah, we could have did it.
No.
And then if we just would have had to scrap the video if it didn't go as we planned.
Because you was not embarrassing me. If that smoke bomb, that cake was blue, whatever it was, like.
I don't think I would have been as bad as you think I would have been, though.
All eyes would have been on you, like, because everyone knew how badly you wanted a girl.
Yeah, I don't think I would have reacted.
And I didn't want you to not be happy and excited. And I'm like, I'm not having a gender reveal.
It might have been the right call. Nah, I just, I really wanted a girl because I thought it would be, I mean, exactly what it is. Like, I wanted to be the favorite. I know how boys are, like, mama's boy, and I didn't want that. I wanted to be the favorite. I wanted that experience. And I've just seen like how daddy's girls are. And I was like, this would be cool. You know what I mean? And I think I got exactly that. And I think it's times 2. Yeah.
Times 10.
But it was an experience that's an experience for another story. But
yeah, we will. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have to go into depth on that. But yeah, I think that's why I wanted a girl so bad. So finding out you were pregnant was exciting. But then I was like, worried at the same time. I'm like, I really want a girl. Because like I said, we could have 5 girls, I'd be okay with it. But I wouldn't be okay with 5 boys. So I was like, as long as we get one girl.
You say that now. I mean, if it happened.
Yeah, it'd probably be fine. Yeah, it might be fine.
You would have a choice.
I might come around.
Yeah, okay.
I would definitely come around. But no, I would say I would want 5. I mean, I would be okay with having 5 girls and no boys. That would be like fine with me. But if I had 5 boys and no girls, we would just keep trying until we got a girl. So I was like, it's good to get a girl out of the way.
So that you know that we have
here,
one. Yeah, and then all the pressure will be off for all the other kids. Yeah, so now we can have
3-4 kids, and whatever they, whoever they are is who they are at that point. But I just wanted a girl for, the first one to have that experience, because I was like, I don't want to not miss out on that experience. But, seeing how people are with their boys, other fathers with their boys, I'm like, that would be cool too. Like in retrospect, like, girl number 2, I'm like, here's this basketball. So I'm like, that would be cool to enjoy like those moments with my son. But if girl number 2 is into that stuff, because we already know girl number 1 is girly girl, then that would be fine too. But
and I found out that we were pregnant with Arian the day that I started my bachelor's degree program.
That's a funny story.
Do you remember how I told you?
You woke me up in the middle of in
the morning,
5 a.m. I thought we were arguing.
I was getting ready for work.
Yeah, I thought we were arguing. That's literally how
I had a dream that I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. And I woke up for work, 5:30 alarm came on, and then something just take one, just see. And you were still sleeping. Yeah.
That was funny. No, I laugh at that because I literally woke up with the feeling like you abruptly woke me up.
I did. And I was just kind of standing over you.
And I thought for sure we were about to argue about something. And I didn't like, in my mind, I'm like, I know I ain't do nothing. So I don't know what this could be about. So I'm like, did I forget the dishes? I leave the toilet seat up. Like everything. Trying to run through like, what did I do before?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, we're about to argue about something. But I was excited.
And I was just quiet and I'm like, look. And you had to like wipe your eyes, focus. You were trying to like see the test and you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, I was groggy and I couldn't even like process what was going on at the time. But now I was definitely excited. I think you went to work late that day, I remember. And I think we took like more. Just I wasn't convinced yet. Like I was like, well, we got to get a blood test. Like, what is the blood test? Not like a DNA test, but like the blood test that confirms. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure because I say blood test. They're like, oh, he wasn't sure it was his. No, 100% sure it was mine. But I wanted the blood test to make sure that you were actually pregnant. It wasn't like a fluke. You know what I mean? Clear Blue didn't mess up. I think that's the test name or whatever. Like First Response didn't. It didn't have an error and we're excited for nothing. But that's how I am anyways. So like I gotta be sure. Like when you passed your boards, I had to like double take and like read it twice to make sure I was like positive. So that's how I am with the pregnancy test, which I still have to this day. I have like I don't know how many of those are up there, but I have a few of them up there.
Oh, the saved pregnancy test.
Yeah.
You did say
from both of the girls. So yeah.
Yeah. You did have that.
But no, that was exciting though. And then we kind of kicked into gear, like you were pregnant and we're like, hey, we need a bigger place. So the house hunting started.
Yeah, we lived in our first apartment was very small. I don't know how many square feet.
It was like 400 or 500, like
very small.
Yeah.
And we were just like, all right, we gotta get out of here. So then I remember we went on the hunt for an apartment and we got one.
That experience was terrible.
I remember we weren't telling people right away that we were pregnant. Yeah. So I remember like people would ask us like, oh, why'd you guys get a 2-bedroom? And we're like,
oh yeah, that was funny.
We just want a 2-bedroom.
Just an extra bedroom. Didn't do some crafts in there or something. But it was the house hunting was funny because like I remember we talk about this all the time, but I remember that one apartment where we went and it was like horrible. And the lady's like, well, but look at the view of the other neighbors' yards.
Yeah.
And I'm
so
like, we
grew up in
here.
Upstate New York.
Yeah.
Binghamton. And it just, it was very slim pickings as nice places.
Yeah.
Affordable, nice places, I would say, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Because they were there. But they were like other people's houses. It was like like people own the houses at that point. So they weren't like for rent. The rental market like was really slim and slim to none. So we did get lucky with getting our apartment. But yeah, like getting the 2-bedroom, I remember like you said, people was asking like, why we get it? And it's like, why not? We just get in space. And that was cool. Like just keeping it a secret, like just having a secret between us, because I felt like everyone like, not everyone, but like a lot of people always knew, like everyone knew we got married. Everyone knew we got engaged. So, and it was cool to just have something that was like just us. You know what I mean?
It wasn't for long that we kept it a secret.
No, not at all. But it was just like a cool little secret, little inside joke. Like people like, oh, why aren't you drinking? And we're like, laughing in the corner over here. You know what I mean? So that was a cool experience. And just being married and knowing that like, everything was secure. You weren't going nowhere. I wasn't going nowhere. And we were pregnant, getting that apartment, just getting everything ready. I remember painting. I can't remember. Like, did we like keep people out of the room? Because I painted that room pink.
Oh, that was after.
Was it after people knew?
Yeah, I was like a lot further along.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember you were like showing and I was like painting and you couldn't be in the room. Yeah. So that apartment was like, that apartment was just a blessing in itself. It was just like the perfect neighborhood, the perfect situation for us, perfect size. And that was exciting.
Do you want to talk about how we found out we were having a girl, or?
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, I forgot all about that. I was skipping steps.
And how we told our family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We could talk about all that. I just forgot about it. The the details of it, but
So, like I said, wasn't doing a gender reveal because of you.
yeah.
So, we decided that we were just going to find out together, just us. So we went to our anatomy scan, which I don't know why, but I wasn't offered like the 10-week genetic testing where you can like find out.
Maybe it wasn't a thing in 2018 though.
Maybe.
Or 2017.
And I wasn't like a women's health provider yet, so I didn't have no knowledge of all that. But that definitely wasn't offered to me. So we waited till the anatomy scan, like around 18 weeks or whatever. And we told the sonographer that, like, not to tell us, like, we wanted her to just write it down on a piece of paper.
That's not like we could tell.
Right.
From the screen.
And then we would just find out at home. So she wrote it down on a little piece of paper, put it in an envelope. And then that was the longest drive home ever.
Yeah. And I had to go back to work. I remember I like took time off to go to the appointment.
It was so bad. Yeah, it was so bad. So I remember we were just sitting in our living room and we were video recording ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a long time to like open the thing because I was just so scared. Like my heart was beating. I was just like, oh my God. But yeah, we just opened it right there and we caught that on video. That's probably one of my best moments. It was.
I always feel like I said I knew. I felt like I knew.
Yeah.
Because I knew that this was.
And I felt like it was too, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Like you got no
clue.
Really don't know.
But I felt like I felt like I knew. But yeah, we had no clue, obviously. But I felt.
But that video was just beautiful. Like you like jumped and your reaction, like it was beautiful. Like, yeah, I love looking back at that video.
And I do feel like I like that better than having a whole group thing, because it would have been cool if everyone found out with us. But like, there's so few things that you get to experience by yourself, especially in the world of social media. So it's like cool that we got to just do it together. It was just like a moment that we had together. That was nice. And like, we could just be with each other and you don't got to worry about like hugging other people. It's just like, it was just us. You know what I mean? Like there's no, there was no interference with that emotion. So.
And you're big on that too.
Which part?
Like the moments when it's just us.
Yeah.
You're big on that. So yeah, I get that for you.
Yeah.
And we made a little joke that on video, like if we opened it and it was a boy, we would just have to delete the video.
Oh yeah.
Because we wouldn't want him to grow up and see the disappointment.
The initial disappointment would have been hurtful. So yeah, I would have wanted to erase any memory of that because that would have been terrible. Yeah. But no, that was super exciting.
We got our girl.
We did.
Miss Arian. There she is in the middle.
Yep. Looks just like me, which is especially as a baby, it was just like, man, she was me 100%.
But she looked like me too when I was little. Yeah. So yeah.
We might look alike then. I don't know.
And then we told our families with T-shirts.
We did.
Got our moms, I'm going to be a grandma. My mom said again, because she already had my nephew.
Yeah.
Same thing with my dad and my sister. I'm going to be an aunt. My brother-in-law and my nephew. I'm going to be a cousin. I'm going to be an uncle. So that was also beautiful videos. Yeah. No, my sister's reaction was, remember, she just screamed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was really nice. That was, she screamed and ran. Yeah. So that was beautiful. Yeah. So we got our girl and Yeah, no,
that was cool. I still think about that moment, just like reading it. And again, I had to like be sure and look at it again. Like, girl, okay. So that was positive. And it was just, it was nice. It was a nice moment to share. It was nice to share with everyone else too. Mm-hmm. But just
everyone was so happy for us. Yeah. Because they knew how bad you wanted their girl. Yeah. So
yeah. So I guess I'll ask you the wind down question.
Okay.
All right. So the wind down question is going to be, would you doing it all over again, would you wait to get pregnant before we got married, or, after we got married, or would you do it before? Like, would you want to do it sooner? I guess would be my real question, because we did wait, and now we're 34 with 2 kids, and you know what I mean? So like, would you have wanted to do it sooner
wait on
the, instead of waiting on that timeline of like school and then waiting on me to get married, obviously, and then
No, no. I mean, when you think about our age, when we had Arian, we were 27.
Mhm.
So in hindsight, I think that's a good age.
It is, but when you, and not to cut you off, but like when everyone around you is like 20 with kids, it's like
I
it feels
know.
late. It
No,
does.
it felt late being around our friend group. And like
Mhm.
I said, mostly everyone had kids. It did feel late.
Mhm.
So, I mean, in the aspect of, it's going to be nice for our friends who now have like teenagers,
Mhm.
that can take care of themselves, fend for themselves,
Yeah.
so that's nice. So I'm sure that's like a big bonus of having kids earlier.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
that's what I was gonna say. Is like when I
Because
think about them,
we have a 6 and a 1-year-old right now, and our friends have teenagers.
yeah,
Like,
because their kids were like 7, and I'm like,
yeah,
at 27, we're starting from ground
yeah,
zero, and they're like have
yeah.
7-year-olds,
Yeah.
6-year-olds, and it's just,
That's probably the only downside. I don't even know if I want to call it a
yeah,
downside to it. But other than that, no, I would do it when we did it, because just knowing us
mhm,
and in the place that we were in life at 19, 20, I don't know if we would have been the parents that we are
mhm.
today. Not to say that.
At least not to the first one, because I
Yeah.
feel
Not to
like,
say that we would have been
yeah.
bad parents, but I don't think we would have cherished it as much as we
Mhm.
did being older. I don't think we would have um experienced all that we should have, because we
Yeah,
would
like
have been kind of
traveling and
like, still wanting to like go out every weekend and, party and all that
yeah,
stuff. But I don't know. Maybe all of that would have turned off. Like, oh, we're parents now, so we can't do all that. But I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I can't say that that switch would have like flipped for me or you in that time of like, all right, we're parents now, we're not doing X, Y, and Z anymore. And then I'm very big on like timing, and what's meant to happen is meant to happen. And like, is Arian still going to be her? So I could never be like, oh, I wanted that. I wish we had her, 7 years sooner, because I can't guarantee that she's going to be the person that she
Hmm.
was. And I would never want to change who she is. So like, if I can't guarantee that, then I would never say that I would wish that
Well,
timeline
then
to
your
be any
question would
different.
be if we could guarantee that we had Arian
Yeah.
years before.
Yeah. And then even
Um,
then I can't guarantee that I'd be the person that I am
right,
now
and that's what I mean.
then. So I
Like,
still wouldn't do it. But
yeah, I
so
definitely don't
there's,
think we would have been bad parents. I think
no,
we
I
would have
wouldn't say
had
that.
to grow up
Yeah.
faster, and we would have just had to do what we had to do. But I do feel like it's nice that we kind of didn't have to go through that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We didn't have to going out and feeling like we were missing out on things
Yeah. I think that was a big thing.
wasn't like a factor for us,
Yeah.
being that we had her at 27.
Yeah. And
So,
I think it was big for like me, and maybe for you too. Is like, I didn't want being a parent to ever feel like doing what I have to do. I wanted to enjoy it. So I think like coming in at 27, you're enjoying it. You've already
yeah.
got to experience X, Y, and Z. So it's not like, oh, I'm just doing what I have to do. Oh, I have to miss out on this. I don't feel like I'm
Yeah.
missing out on going out or
Yeah.
anything. And I don't feel like we're sacrificing time with
Yeah.
them to do these things. And I think like I may have felt that at the time because just what our lifestyles
Yeah.
were. So I'm glad we
I think 27
had her when we did.
was a perfect age.
Yeah.
Not too young for like our maturity and
Mhm.
mindset, and it's not too old either. And I
Yeah.
feel like nowadays, like, the age is getting older and older.
Yeah.
Especially with me being in my field, like, they say 35, after 35, you shouldn't have kids because of risks.
Yeah.
But I see so many 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds coming in and wanting babies and getting pregnant,
Yeah.
not to say, not to say that there aren't more risks, but
Yeah.
I think it happens when it happens for you. So,
Yeah. I'm glad it happened when it happened for us. I
mhm.
think, like, again, I wouldn't change it. I was just curious to know if you wish that we had kind of started sooner, just because where we're at now.
Yeah. I mean,
We would have a
it would be nice to have a 13-year-old right now.
right, yeah, that'd be cool.
Just so we kind of had a little bit more free time.
Yeah, yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever say like feel like I'm missing out because we have kids. I don't think that's ever like a thing right now, but that might have been different at 21, 22. You know, so I think the timing was perfect. But I definitely want to get into first year parenting, what that was like, because that was a big change, and then just talk about, you know, what it was like having a new baby on next episode, episode 6. But I think this is a great episode. Had fun talking to you today. But we're gonna wrap it up tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to episode 5. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And join us for another episode. Until next time.